school year has seen many changes with several schools around the Houston area. One major change seen on campuses has to do with school libraries and its staff. Shirley Robinson, Executive Director with Texas Library Association, is here to talk with us this morning about the impact these changes are having on learning. Shirley, good morning. Thank you so much for your time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
I understand two of our local districts, Spring Branch ISD and Houston ISD, have let go of librarians and repurposed some of its libraries. Talk to us about what this looks like now after that transformation, how this impacts librarians, how this also impacts students.
Yes, yeah, it's a huge concern. We know that these communities, our classroom students, our educators are losing a highly knowledgeable and versatile educator who is essential to student achievement and success. We know with statistics that these students with access to certified school librarians score higher on standardized tests and ultimately have higher quality learning outcomes than students who do not.
Shirley, so talk to us about, if a library if you take a library impacted by these changes, when you go into that specific library today, walk us through what we will see, what we won't see.
Yeah, I think that's a really important question for everyone to be asking. Librarians do much more than just check out books to students. They provide individual and classroom instruction to students at all grade levels. They support and partner with classroom teachers and administrators on things like curriculum development, professional development, and literacy initiatives, of course.
Yeah, but talk specifically about these libraries that have been repurposed, these libraries that have lost librarians. If I were to walk into that space today, what does it look like? Talk to me about the anatomy of what that space looks like right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shell of its former self. We know that students going into these spaces now no longer have access to someone who can help to point them specifically to reading materials that are there to help foster critical thinking skills, as well as inquiry. We know that they're not going to have access to the same types of complementary supports to their classroom learning and creating that love of reading any longer. There are lots of things that are going to be missing from these library spaces without a certified school librarian on every single campus.
So some of these libraries might not have a librarian. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. Our understanding is that many of these spaces are just going to be staffed by a paraprofessional individual who is not trained in library science. Certified school librarians have a master's degree. They also are certified teachers. And so those individuals will no longer be in those spaces helping to support our students in these districts.
Do we have numbers on the number of librarians impacted or the number of libraries impacted by this change?
At this point, we're looking at well over 100 libraries just in the Houston area that are experiencing these losses of this very critical position in our schools.
Is there something people can do about this, listening right now, watching right now, if they want to get involved, whether they're concerned on their child's education or access to these resources, to these tools? Is there something you're encouraging them to do?
I think that we're in a really tough position. School districts across the state are facing large budget deficits and increased costs due to inflation. They're having to make really hard decisions about personnel. The state has not provided additional funding for public education in years. And so in some cases, these hard decisions include laying off personnel, including librarians. So I think it's important for community members and parents and folks who are concerned about our future workforce readiness across the state to make sure that we're able to talk to our school boards, talk to our local decision makers in the legislature about making sure that we're continuing to fund public education appropriately.
Is the Texas Library Association having these conversations with elected officials on both sides of the aisle?
Absolutely, of course. And we have been for years, and we want to make sure that our schools are able to continue to serve our students, and that's what we do as an association, to support not only our librarians who are out there serving our students, but also making sure that we're communicating the value of what the library profession brings to our public education system.
Okay, Shirley Robinson, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate your time.